All right, listen. I didn't think of this theory. This isn't my idea. This is smarter people, but I've listened to things. I've heard things. It's quite interesting. Okay. Let's stuck there now. All right, simulation theory. Actually, let's move to this screen. Let's go to that, and let's move that just so we can see more. Okay, so there's 3 trains of thought. Okay, so there's 3 trains of thought that there's
face with tears of joy.
That there's 3 possibilities. Okay, so possibility 1. Let's do it. Let's just say it's planet Earth. Let's make it planet Earth because that's kind of like. This is option 1. This is kind of like what everyone thinks. This is what majority of people think, right? So majority of people think that we are on base reality, okay? Base reality, and
we live in a simulation from a quantum computer, but it has just everything you can see.
So this is like what most people think, all right? Hold up. So this is what most people think, that we live, we're the first, this is the first reality, okay? So that means that we haven't created simulations yet. There's no simulation has ever been created that can, hold what we're currently living in, basically. Because we kind of have already created simulations. Like, we can simulate heaps of things. Yes, please.
What would you like?
Just tea, thanks. We can simulate heaps of things, right? So we can simulate like a game. A game is kind of like a simulation, right? So this is option 1, right? This is option 1. All right, option 2 is that we're in a simulation, right? So I think a good way to explain that is that we're like in a box inside another box. You know? Inside another box. So the box bigger than you created your simulation, and the box before them created their simulation, right? And it's just a bunch of boxes. There's an episode on Rick and Morty that sort of puts this into like some sort of like easy way to understand like the perspective. And then this is like where we are right now, and then we are going to create our own box. Okay, so we're going to create our own box, but then it could also branch off, right? You know, you could make more than one simulation and it branches off. So that's option number 2. And then there's option number 3, right? Is that, that we never create simulations. That's the third train of thought. They're the only 3 options, right? Is there any other 3 options? I don't think so. I think they're the only options, right? Like, nothing else is possible. So one of these things is true, right? One of these things is true, is that we're on base reality and we haven't created simulations yet. 2, we're in a simulation, like we're literally in it right now, and our simulation's already been created and we're going to make our own. And 3, simulations never get created. Okay, now, to add from this, there's this number 2 thing, right? Imagine we're living in a simulation, okay? There's like so many different ways a simulation can exist, I feel. Because there's 2 ways you can imagine it. Who's seen Sword Art Online? Has anyone seen Sword Art Online? So there could be a simulation, right? That creates like an entire universe, right? It creates a whole universe with a bunch of living things in it, right? So we're all living in this simulation together. We all live in it, right? A bunch of little planets, but you know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying? Oh, there's a third one, which is like Sword Art Online. Like, the whole universe is perhaps the controllers, you know? It's all this guy. This guy's got a helmet on, okay? And everything is, like, obviously I think that it's my... If this is true, that it's me, because I, like, experience everything. I know that I experience everything. All you guys could just be, like, like NPCs. Everyone else in the world could be NPCs. But me, I've just got a helmet on and I live in this universe. Does that make sense? Kind of like Sword Art Online. But you don't remember your previous life. Not really like a god, but kind of like a god. So all you guys watching are NPCs. But me, I'm the player. I'm experiencing everything. I'm controlling this life, there's someone behind me with a controller, which is the helmet. So there's two trains of thought of simulation theory. That the whole, the whole universe is in a box and it's simulated and we all live together. We all, have our own feelings and stuff. Or that someone's controlling me and everything around me is coding and NPCs. So that kind of gives us 1, 2, 3 options, but number 2 kind of has 2 options. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think's real? Do you think... So these 2 are kind of the same. 1 and 3 are kind of the same. 3 is that we never create simulations. 1 is that we're on base reality on the trajectory to making simulations. So 1 will eventually become 2, but 1 is the biggest box. It's the first box. Does that make sense? So the option of 1 still means 2 is going to happen, but it's base reality. So we're the first things to ever exist. We create simulations. And then this happens. So 1 becomes 2, or there's 3 where 1 happens, but simulations are never created. So what do you guys think's true? I think statistically, this is bad statistics. This isn't accurate statistic making because there's different options of probability, but I personally think 2 is the most likely. Number 2 is the most likely. Because if there's a simulation inside a simulation, 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 think how many simulations there are. There is way more chance you're in a simulation than you are base reality. Because there's only one base reality. Right? So what do you guys think's real? Do you think we never create simulations? We're in a simulation, or we're on base reality? What do you guys reckon? And then if you do guess 2, which one do you think? Do you think the whole universe is in a box, simulated? Or that you're controlling one person? It's your world, You think 1? Fair enough. You think the whole... What do you mean simulated? Do you think the whole world's simulated? Like the whole universe? Or you think there's a controller? Like a helmet on a guy in a room. In an internet cafe. In Cyberpunk. It's just a little train of thought, guys. It's pretty... it's cool. I think it's like... Because unless you guys can think of other options, one of these things is true. That's the scary thing. Well, number 3 is not really that scary. Number 1, I think, is scary. Base reality, that's a very important thing. I think number 1's very scary. 3 is kind of boring. Never create simulations. That kind of seems like it's not going to happen. I think 3's way out of the picture. I think 1 and 2 are... Well, I think 1 or 2 is definitely real. There's no other option. I've tried to think of other options. We're either on base reality, on the trajectory to making simulations, we're in a simulation, or we never create them. That's it. It's like there is, there isn't, or you're in it. That's the thing. It's there is, there isn't, or you're in it. You know what I'm saying? So there is gonna be, or it's like there is gonna be, there isn't gonna be, or you're already in it. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the saying. It's gonna happen. What did I say? What did I just say? Did I say it's gonna happen, it's never gonna happen, or you're already in it? That's literally the only 3 options. That is literally the only 3 options. It's going to happen, you're already... No, wait. It's going to happen, it's never going to happen, or you're already in it. I'm gonna write that down, boys. It's gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Or you're already in it. That's creepy, dude. That is kind of creepy, right? It's gonna happen, it's never gonna happen, or you're already in it. Because think about it. One of these is true. Let's make them different colors. That is creepy. Save as. Sir Jack Albrecht, Amazing Science. Desktop. Guys, that is a little education for you guys. Something you never thought or doesn't happen, you wouldn't know because to your knowledge, it doesn't... What? If something you never thought of doesn't happen... Yes, but here's the thing. Insane Pizza, that's a very good point. That's a good saying. But the thing is, we have thought of simulation theory. We've already created, on some level, simulations. So, we have thought of something. So the thought of it never existing can't be an option. We're talking about it. I'm a fucking degenerate monkey, dude, and I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it on stream. So, if someone as dumb as me can think about it and think of it as a concept, think about like how smart people can think of this concept. So, that's a good point, Pizza. If something you never thought of doesn't happen, it never really exists. That's a good point, but we've thought of it and we're talking about it right now. So you're saying this is a simulation? I'm not saying this is a simulation. I'm saying we could be in the simulation. We could also be in base reality. Here, I'll label these ones. So it's option 1 is base reality. I don't even know if that's how you spell it, but... Okay, base reality. That's option 1, okay? Option 2... Option 2 is... We're in a simulation. In a simulation. Okay, that's option 2, okay? And option 3, it says right there, we never create simulations. There could be many reasons why we don't create simulations, though. One could be, we don't think it's ethically right. So we could dictate that, we don't think this is right. Alright, we could say that. 2, it could be impossible. It could be impossible to create a simulation like this. I don't believe that. Yes, dude, vibes. What Vibes just said. Here's a thought. If you die and someone pulled a VR off your face and said how it was, that's what this is. That's what this is. That's the same sort of thing. See this option here? Simulation theory has probably more than 2 options, but this is the 2 I presented. So there's either the whole universe in a box, or that someone's controlling, like me. When I die, I just take a helmet off, like in it happens in Rick and Morty.